Hi everyone, I'm Doris from Susan's family. Today I'll teach you how to make a scallion sweater. There are two styles in total. The crocheting method is almost identical. The only difference is the length. Both styles are divided into neckline edging, shoulder parts, body and sleeves, 4 sections. Start by crocheting the shoulder parts and body from top to bottom. Then crochet the sleeves. Finally, crochet the neckline edging. Let's first learn how to crochet the shoulder parts. The shoulder parts section is divided into Section 1, Section 2, and Section 3. Section 1 includes casting on and the first round. Section 2 involves crocheting back and forth for a few rows based on Section 1. This creates the difference between the front and back. Section 3 is crocheted in rounds based on Sections 1 and 2. Let's take a look at Section 1 first. The stitches used include chain stitch, double crochet, and slip stitch. Please watch as I demonstrate the specific crocheting method. First, you need to handle the yarn. You can see that the gem twist is a bundle of threads woven together like this. Find any position where the thread starts and cut it. Gently shake off any loose yarn ends. The cut forms a yarn tail and a few loops like this. Gently pull the yarn tail, and the loop will loosen. Make sure to pull it gently. If you pull out a few stitches, you find the yarn tail is knotted. Then untie the knot at that position. Or, choose another section nearby and cut it again. Continue until all the loops come undone one by one when you pull the yarn tail. Next, take the strand of gem twist you've unraveled, and combine it with another type of yarn. Combine them into a group for crocheting. For specific yarn, color schemes, and hook sizes, please refer to the detail page of our product and the paper instructions. In the following explanations, when I say one strand of yarn, I actually mean such a group of strands. This will not be repeated later on. Before starting to crochet, learn the proper posture for crocheting first. For everyone to see more clearly, I'll demonstrate with cotton yarn. Let's start by casting on. Pick up the yarn tail with your right hand, wrap it around your left little finger once, and pass it through between your middle finger and index finger. Then pinch the yarn tail with your thumb and middle finger. Pick up the crochet hook with your right hand, and place it underneath the yarn. Wrap the yarn counterclockwise. Use the thumb and middle finger of your left hand to pinch the crossing point of the loop. Place the hook on the left side of the yarn. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. This slip knot does not count as a stitch. Slightly tighten it. Now we start crocheting chain stitches. Yarn over. Pull the yarn through. That's one chain stitch completed. The chain stitches you make when casting on should all be a little looser. This V shape formed by the slip stitch counts as one stitch. Continue with chain stitches. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. That's the second stitch. The third stitch. Pay attention, everyone. These 3 chain stitches should all be a little looser as well. Once the 3 chain stitches are completed, let's get to know the chain stitch. On the right side, the chain stitch forms a V-shaped braid. Pick up the half loop above the first braid. Which is this single strand of yarn. Work a double crochet. Wrap the yarn around the hook. Insert. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. This double crochet also needs to be enlarged. Enlarge it to the same height as the 3 chain stitches. Now there are 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over. Pull through the first 2 loops on the hook. There are 2 loops remaining on the hook. Yarn over again. Pull through the loops on the hook. 1 double crochet is done. Corresponding to the top right, there's a V-shaped braid. This is the stitch of the double crochet. We will treat these 3 chains and 1 double crochet as 1 cast on grids. Continue with 3 chain stitches. After completing them, work a double crochet into the stitch of the previous double crochet, yarn over the hook, insert the hook here. Yarn over again. Draw the yarn through. Mindful to enlarge the height of this double crochet. Then yarn over again. Pull through the first 2 loops on your hook. Repeat this twice. 1 time. 2 times. Another double crochet is done. The second grid is also completed. Everyone, pay attention to the height of a group of grids. Continue with the third one. Pay attention, the double crochets are worked into the stitch of the previous double crochet. Everyone, continue crocheting downwards. This round of casting on is the sequence for crocheting these grids. The exact number of grids, please refer to the chart. After completing the required number of grids, fold the fabric in half. Mind that it doesn't twist in the middle. Join with a slip stitch at the beginning and ending. Insert the hook into the middle hole of the first cast on grids. Place the starting tail of the yarn above the hook. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. Pull through all loops on the hook once. Slip stitch is complete. This is the braid formed by the slip stitch. The joining slip stitch does not count as a stitch, it needs to be tightened. In my case, the swatch has fewer stitches. Everyone, take a look. This is what it looks like after completing the cast on. After finishing the cast on, you need to try it on your head. If it's too small or too big, you'll need to adjust your tension and crochet again. Next, we'll work on the first round. Start with 3 chain stitches as the beginning chains. These 3 chain stitches count as 1 double crochet. Then, in the same chain space below, crochet 3 more double crochets. While crocheting, keep the starting tail above the hook. Hide it as you go. Including the turning chains, that makes a total of 4 double crochets here. For this round, in each space of the cast on grids, crochet 4 double crochets. Complete this entire round. After completing the last stitch, pick up the 2 strands of the third chain from the beginning chain. That's right here. Yarn over. And draw the yarn through. Pulling through all loops on the hook once. Tighten. This way, the first round is completed. Section 1 is done. Next, we'll work on section 2. The new stitch techniques used include single crochet, half double crochet, DC3 tog, and DC3 bobble. Please watch me demonstrate. Start with the first row. First, you need to adjust the starting position. Transition using a slip stitch. Insert the hook into the adjacent stitch. The stitch has been stretched a bit by the slip stitch, causing some distortion. Everyone, please mind not to pick the wrong position. Make one slip stitch. Note: the round solid dot indicates that the slip stitch needs to be tightened. The oval solid dot indicates that the slip stitch does not need to be tightened. I won't repeat this later on. Continue inserting into the adjacent stitch. Work one slip stitch. This way, the yarn tail will be at the starting position. Begin crocheting. Start with 3 chain stitches as the turning chain. These 3 chain stitches also count as 1 double crochet stitch. Then, make 1 chain stitch for the interval. After completing, skip the next 2 stitches below. On the 3rd stitch from the left, work 1 single crochet stitch. Insert. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. There will be 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over again. Pull through both loops on your hook. That's how you do a single crochet stitch. Next, crochet 3 chain stitches for the interval. After finishing, skip the next 2 stitches below. Start from the 3rd stitch on the left. Work 5 double crochets evenly. After completing them, crochet 3 chain stitches for the interval. Next, skip the next 2 stitches below. In the 3rd stitch on the left, work 1 single crochet. Insert your hook. Yarn over. And draw the yarn through. Yarn over. Pull through the loops on your hook. Another single crochet is done. Crochet 3 chain stitches for the interval. Then, work a single crochet in the 3rd stitch on the left. Continue with 3 more chain stitches for the interval. After completing them, work another single crochet in the 3rd stitch on the left. Crochet 3 more chains. Here we have 5 double crochets, 3 single crochets, and the 4 groups of chain stitches on this side. Consider these as pattern 1. Everyone continue crocheting this stitch pattern called pattern 1. Skip the 2 stitches below. Work 5 double crochets correspondingly. Then, crochet 3 chains. Skip 2 stitches, then work single crochet. After each single crochet, make 3 chain stitches. Repeat this process 3 times. Another group of pattern 1 is completed. Following this method, crochet another group. After completing it, start from the third stitch on the left side, and work 5 double crochets evenly. Then, crochet 3 chain stitches as a space. Work 1 single crochet in the third stitch on the left side. Crochet 1 chain stitch. Then, work 1 double crochet in the third stitch on the left side. That's how you do it. The first row is now complete. Take a look at the fabric. The side with the clearer texture is the right side. The other side is the wrong side. The texture on the wrong side is less defined. Now, let's work on the second row. Start by crocheting 2 chains. Next, turn the fabric counterclockwise. Pick up the double crochet stitches from the previous row. Work double crochets. Since we are crocheting on the wrong side here, the stitch corresponds to the braid above the double crochet on the left. That is, pick up these 2 strands and crochet. Work even and complete 3 double crochets. After finishing, crochet 5 chain stitches for the interval. Next, in the same stitch below, work 1 double crochet. Then work 2 double crochets evenly in the adjacent stitch. That is, on the previous row's 5 double crochets, you will crochet 6 double crochets, 5 chain stitches in the middle as an interval. Then crochet 2 chains. After finishing, in the chain space between single crochets below, work 1 single crochet. Then crochet 3 chains for the interval. After finishing, work 1 single crochet in the adjacent chain space. Then crochet 2 more chains. We can consider the group of double crochets here along with the chains and single crochets on the left side. As one pattern 2. Continue crocheting 2 more groups of pattern 2 with the same stitch pattern. After completing it, continue with 6 double crochets on the left side's double crochet, 5 chain stitches in the middle as an interval. After finishing, finally crochet 2 chains. Then, on the third chain from the beginning chain of the first row, and slip stitch by picking up both loops. That is, these 2 strands of yarn. slip stitch. Then crochet 1 double crochet on the third stitch on the left side below, which is the stitch on the left side of the beginning chain. This way, the second row is completed. Now for the third row. Start with 1 chain stitch. Turn the workpiece counterclockwise. Next, in the insertion position of the previous slip stitch, crochet 1 single crochet. Then make 1 chain stitch. Move down, and crochet 3 double crochets into the adjacent double crochet stitch evenly. Then work 3 chain stitches for the interval. After completing that, in the hole made by the 5 chain stitches below, crochet 7 double crochets. After completing, continue with 3 chain stitches for the interval. Then, similarly crochet 3 double crochets into the adjacent stitch evenly. Next, make 1 chain stitch for the interval. In the hole made by the 3 chain stitches below, crochet 1 single crochet. After completing, make 1 chain stitch for the interval. We can consider these 13 double crochets, along with the middle chain intervals, and the single crochet and 2 chains on the left side, as one pattern 3. Continue crocheting 3 groups of pattern 3 downward. For the single crochet of the last group of pattern 3, crochet it into the last double crochet of the first row. Everyone, make sure to see the position clearly. After completing the last group of pattern 3, crochet 3 chain stitches. Next, on the third stitch to the left of this insertion point, make 1 slip stitch. This completes the third row. Move on to the fourth row. First, adjust the starting position. Transition with slip stitches. Crochet 1 slip stitch into each of the 2 stitches on the left. This way, the yarn tail reaches the starting position. Begin crocheting. Insert the hook into the adjacent stitch, and make 1 single crochet. Then crochet 3 chain stitches. After completing, turn the piece counterclockwise. Crochet 1 double crochet into the chain space from the previous row. After finishing, make 3 chain stitches for the interval. The next stitch is DC3 tog. First, work an incomplete double crochet in each of the 3 adjacent double crochet stitches. Yarn over. Insert the hook. Yarn over, draw the yarn through. Now there are 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops. This is the first incomplete double crochet. Move on to the second one. Yarn over, insert into the adjacent stitch. Yarn over, pull the yarn through. Yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops. This is the second one. Continue with the third one. After completing it, there are now 4 loops on the hook in total. Yarn over, draw through all 4 loops on the hook at once. 1 DC3 tog is completed. From now on, I'll simply call it a cluster. Work 3 chain stitches for the interval. Next, work a DC3 bobble in the adjacent stitch. From now on, I'll simply call it a bobble stitch. Please watch me demonstrate. First, work 3 incomplete double crochets in the same stitch below. One, 2, 3. After completing them, yarn over, pull through all the loops on your hook. 1 bobble stitch is completed. Then, work 3 chain stitches for the interval. After completing them, skip 1 stitch below. On the second stitch from the left, continue with a bobble stitch. Work 3 chain stitches for the interval. Everyone, keep working bobble stitches and clusters in the corresponding stitches. There are 3 chain stitches in the middle as intervals. We consider 2 clusters, 4 bobble stitches, and 5 groups of chain stitches in between. As one pattern 4. Everyone, continue crocheting 3 more groups of pattern 4 below. Between each pattern 4, work 1 chain stitch as an interval. After completing the last group, work 3 chain stitches. Then pick up the double crochet from the row above, and work 1 double crochet. Make sure to check the position carefully. Then work 3 more chain stitches. After completing them, on the third stitch from the left side, work 1 single crochet. Then work 1 chain stitch as an interval. Next, on the third stitch from the left side, work 1 double crochet. This way, row 4 is completed. Now move on to row 5. Start by working 3 chain stitches. Turn the fabric counterclockwise. Then work 1 double crochet in the chain space below. Everyone, pay attention and check the position carefully. Work 3 more chain stitches as an interval. The crocheting pattern for this row is, in the 3 chain spaces from the previous row, work double crochets sequentially. Between the double crochets, work 3 chain stitches as intervals. Refer to the chart and continue crocheting. After completing the last double crochet, work 3 chain stitches. Next, pick up strands in the single crochets of row 4 below. And make 1 slip stitch. Pay attention to the insertion point here, everyone. Then work 4 chain stitches. Once completed, work 1 single crochet in the third stitch on the left side. Do this, and row 5 is completed. Now work on row 6. Start with 1 chain stitch as your beginning chain. Turn the fabric counterclockwise. Then in the chain space, work 1 single crochet, 1/2 double crochet, yarn over, insert the hook, yarn over again, draw the yarn through. Now there are 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over, draw through all 3 loops on the hook. Then work 2 more double crochets. After completing them, work 4 double crochets in the next chain space. For the rest of this row, work double crochets in the chain spaces, and double crochet stitches. The number of double crochets should be based on your chart. Continue working down. After completing the double crochet in the last chain space, pick up the adjacent double crochet stitch. That's it for here. Work 2 double crochets. Then after finishing, work 1/2 double crochet, yarn over, insert the hook, yarn over, draw the yarn through, yarn over again, and draw through all the loops on the hook. A half double crochet is complete. Now work 1 single crochet. Finally, pick up the adjacent stitch. And make 1 slip stitch. That's it. Row 6 is now complete. Take a look. This is what section 2 looks like after it's finished. Now, we need to place 2 markers first. It will be more convenient for dividing the armholes later. With the right side facing you. Find the left side of section 2. In the cast-on grids below on the left. Place a stitch marker to mark the position. Then on the right side. In the cast-on grids below on the right. Place a stitch marker to mark it. This way, the marking is done. Next, let's look at section 3. 6 rounds make 1 sequence. There are 4 sequences in total. The stitches and crocheting method for each sequence are identical. Only the number of patterns differs. Watch me demonstrate. First, you need to adjust the starting position. Use a slip stitch transition. Crochet 1 slip stitch on each of the 4 adjacent stitches. This way, the yarn tail is adjusted to the starting position. Now start crocheting. Begin with 3 chain stitches as the turning chain. These 3 chain stitches count as 1 double crochet, then turn the fabric counterclockwise. Work double crochets evenly in the adjacent stitches. That is, insert into the same spot where the slip stitch was made. Counting the turning chain. There are already 4 stitches here. For the 5th stitch, pick up the adjacent single crochet stitch and work it. After completing it, crochet 3 chain stitches as an interval. Then skip 2 stitches. Work single crochets in the 3rd stitch on the left side. In this round, pick up stitches, and work pattern 1 accordingly. Each group is pattern 1. It takes up 16 stitches from the previous round. Refer to the chart, and continue crocheting downward. Keep going until you reach the other side of section 2. Now, you've reached the other side of section 2. After completing the 5 double crochets, work 3 chain stitches. Then skip 2 stitches underneath. Work single crochet in the single crochet stitch on the left side. Then work 3 chain stitches. Skip 2 stitches underneath. pick the double crochet stitch from section 1, and work single crochet. After completing, work 3 chain stitches as an interval. Skip 2 stitches underneath. Work 1 single crochet. Everyone follows this pattern to finish this round. If the final stitch count doesn't match perfectly, it's okay. When crocheting the last few patterns, you can skip one more or one less stitch. Just make sure the quantity of pattern 1 matches the chart. After completing the last stitch, pick up the 2 strands of the third chain from the beginning chain. Join with a slip stitch. Pull tight. That completes the first round. Next, we'll crochet the second round. Start by making 3 beginning chains. These 3 chains count as 1 double crochet. This corresponds to the starting chain underneath. In this round, work the same number of pattern 2 on each pattern 1. Just follow the chart for your crocheting. After completing the last stitch, pick up the 2 strands of the third chain from the beginning chain and slip stitch. Pull tight. This way, the second round is completed. For the third round, crochet pattern 3 on top of round 2. Follow the diagram to continue crocheting. After completing the last stitch, join with a slip stitch. This completes the third round. Next, start the fourth round. First, make 2 chain stitches as the beginning chain. These 2 chains count as 1 incomplete double crochet. Then, pick up the adjacent 2 stitches and crochet 2 incomplete double crochets. After completing them, yarn over, and draw through all the loops on your hook once. Since there is a turning chain here, this cluster technique is a bit special. The clusters at the starting position from now on are all crocheted this way. Everyone can refer to the chart and continue crocheting pattern 4. Between each pattern 4, make 1 chain stitch as the interval. After completing the last stitch, pick up the first cluster stitch. Specifically the third chain here. Slip stitch. Pull tight. This completes the fourth round. Now let's look at the fifth round. Here, I've already completed the fifth round. I'll explain the crochet pattern for this round using this sample swatch. First, you need to adjust the starting position. After completing that, make 3 chain stitches as the turning chain. The crochet pattern for this round is identical to the middle of section 2's fifth round. Both involve crocheting a double crochet into the space made by 3 chain stitches. Between each double crochet, make 3 chain stitches as an interval. After completing the final 3 chain stitches, pick up the 2 strands of the third chain from the beginning chain, and join with a slip stitch. Move on to the 6th round. Since we need to add 4 stitches in this round, the increase points should be roughly evenly distributed. Therefore, before starting this round, you need to mark the increase points with stitch markers first. On the 5th round, place 4 stitch markers at roughly even intervals. Each time you reach a stitch marker while crocheting downward, remember to add one stitch. Start crocheting. Start by following the chart and work regular double crochets. Now you've reached the stitch marker position. Here, you need to make one additional stitch. After completing it, remove the stitch marker. Do the same for the other stitch marker positions. For the rest of the stitches, follow the chart and crochet as usual. Once the last stitch is done, join with a slip stitch. The 6th round is now completed. That's how you do it. That concludes the explanation for sequence 1. For the following sequences 2 through 4, the crochet techniques are almost identical to sequence 1. The first 5 rounds of each sequence follow the same crocheting pattern. The only difference is in the number of double crochets in the 6th round. The exact stitch counts are marked on the chart. For places where you need to increase stitches, use a stitch marker in the 5th round as before. Similarly, when crocheting the first round, if the stitch count doesn't match perfectly at the end, you can adjust by skipping one more or one fewer stitch. After completing, check if the quantity of pattern 1 matches the chart. Everyone, refer to the stitch patterns on the chart and crochet them all. Once all 4 sequences are completed, it's time to fasten off the yarn. Crochet 1 chain to secure. Leave a tail of about 5 centimeters. Cut the yarn. Weave in the yarn tail following the texture to the wrong side of the fabric. Make sure to hide several stitches. Trim the excess tail. Now let's start crocheting the body section. The body part is also crocheted in a pattern repeat sequence. 5 rounds per sequence. Refer to the chart for the number of sequences. When crocheting the first sequence, make sure to divide the positions for the left and right armholes. When crocheting the last sequence, you'll need to add the hem lace trim portion. The new stitches used include CH3SL picket, DC2 tog. Please watch me demonstrate. Let's first determine the armhole position. I'll use this sample to demonstrate the method. Lay the crocheted part flat, with the back piece facing up, and the neckline pointing downward. Starting from the cast-on grids marked by the stitch marker. Begin with the first stitch on the left side above it. Count the corresponding number of stitches to the right. The exact stitch count is labeled on the chart. After completing, place a stitch marker as a mark. Do the same for the other side. Start with the first stitch on the right side above the stitch marker. Count the corresponding number of stitches to the left. Mark with a stitch marker. You can now remove the first 2 stitch markers. This way, the stitch count for the first round of section 1 in the shoulder parts will be identical for both the front and back pieces. The difference between the front and back of section 2 is perfectly centered on the back piece. Fold neatly along the stitch markers. Place a stitch marker at the folding point of the final round, for the shoulder parts as a mark. Do the same for the other side. Mark the folding position with a stitch marker. Place the stitch marker on the edge stitch. After completing, you need to count the number of stitches between the two stitch markers. The stitch count for both the front and back pieces must be identical. If, after counting, you find that the stitch count for the two pieces is not consistent, you can slightly adjust the marker placement to make the stitch count of both pieces completely identical. And the front-back difference in section 2 for the shoulder parts needs to remain centered on the back piece. After verifying the stitch count, next, on one side, count the corresponding number of stitches to the left from the stitch marker. And use a stitch marker for marking. The exact stitch count is labeled on the chart. Then count the corresponding number of stitches to the right. Mark with a stitch marker. Do the same for the other side. From the marker at the fold position, count the corresponding number of stitches to both the left and right and place stitch markers for marking. After completing this step, you can remove the marker at the fold position. The stitches between these two markers, including the stitches marked by the two markers, belong to the sleeve section. Do the same on the other side. The middle part is the front and back section of the body. Next, on one side underarm, increase stitches. Get the yarn. Here it's convenient for everyone to see the insertion position clearly. I'll demonstrate using a different color of yarn. Make a slip knot with the yarn tail. Insert the hook into the marker position. Draw the loop through. Adjust it slightly. Next, crochet a certain number of chain stitches. The number of chain stitches can be found on the chart. After completing, join with a slip stitch at the marker position on the other side. Crochet one chain to secure. Leave about 5 centimeters of yarn tail, and then cut the yarn. Weave in both the beginning and ending yarn tails along the texture to the wrong side of the fabric. Everyone should hide more stitches. Do the same on the other side. Now, everyone take a look. This is what it looks like after dividing one side of the armhole and completing the underarm increase. You can now remove the stitch marker. On the other side, use the same method to connect with chain stitch. This completes the underarm increase. In this way, both sides of the armhole section are now demonstrated. Next, we will crochet the first round of the body section. Here, I'll demonstrate using this small sample. Start by making a slip knot with the yarn tail. We begin from the right underarm position. This refers to the actual left and right when wearing the garment. Pick up the 7th half loop from the underarm connection. Draw the loop through. Adjust slightly. Start with 3 chain stitches as the beginning chain. These 3 chain stitches count as 1 double crochet stitch. Continue picking up the top half stitches of the chains below. Crochet 4 double crochets. When crocheting, place the starting yarn tail above the hook. Work pattern 1 for this round. Note that the number of chain stitches in the intervals below is slightly different from the shoulder parts. Refer to the chart while crocheting. After completing the chains here, pick up the double crochets on the front body, and work pattern 1 in sequence. For these single crochets, insert the hook into the stitch at the chain stitch connection. Once this edge is finished, we are now back at the left underarm position. This single crochet here also goes into the stitch at the chain stitch connection. Then pick up the half loop of the chain and continue crocheting. These single crochets also go into the stitch at the chain stitch connection. Continue to finish the remaining part of this round. After completing the last stitch, pick up the third chain of the beginning chain, and join with a slip stitch. That way, the first round is completed. For the following rounds from the second to the fourth, are identical to the stitch patterns of the second to fourth rounds, in each sequence of section 3 in the shoulder parts, please refer to the previous demonstration. Combine it with the chart for crocheting. Pay attention. After completing the last cluster in the fourth round, pick up the stitch of the first cluster, and work a single crochet. That way, the round will be joined properly. Look, everyone, this is what it looks like after completing the first 4 rounds. Next, we will work on the 5th round. Start by working 2 chains as the beginning chain. Then, work 3 chains for the interval. After completing that, the next stitch is a DC2 tog. Please watch me demonstrate. Wrap the yarn over the hook. Insert the hook into the hole below. Work an incomplete double crochet stitch. Then insert the hook into the adjacent chain space. Work another incomplete double crochet stitch. Now there are 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over. Pull through all 3 loops on the hook. 1 DC2 tog is complete. Next, work 3 chains for the interval. After completing that, work 3 double crochets into the next 3 chain spaces. Work 3 chains between the double crochets as intervals. After completing that, work 3 chain stitches. The next stitch is a DC2 tog. Insert the hook into the chain space below. Work an incomplete double crochet stitch. Then insert the hook into the adjacent hole. Work another incomplete double crochet stitch. Yarn over next. Pull through all the loops on the hook. Another DC2 tog is complete. Work 3 chain stitches as an interval. Then continue with another DC2 tog. Everyone, pay attention to the insertion point. This round involves making double crochets and DC2 tog in the spaces from the previous round. There are 3 chain stitches between each stitch. Refer to the chart to complete this round. Now we've reached the position of the last stitch. Work 1 double crochet into the hole below. After completing that, slip stitch join into the second chain of the beginning chain. This is the starting position. The DC2 tog technique is a bit special. It consists of this double crochet and the starting chain. Like this, sequence 1 is completed. Now let's move on to sequence 2. Start with the first round. I already have the sample swatch crocheted. First, you need to adjust the starting position. After completing, work 3 chains as the starting chain. These 3 chains count as 1 double crochet stitch. Then, work 4 more double crochets in the same chain space. After finishing, work 3 chains for an interval. Then, work one single crochet in the adjacent stitch. This is still using pattern 1 stitch technique, it's just that the insertion position is different. The 5 double crochets are worked in the chain space between the DC2 tog. The single crochet is worked into the double crochet stitch. Refer to the chart and complete this round. After finishing the last stitch, join with a slip stitch. This way, the first round is completed. For the next rounds from the 2nd to the 5th, follow the same technique as sequence 1. You can refer to the diagram for crocheting. For the following rounds, except for the last sequence, each sequence is identical to the second one. Just follow the previous demonstration to complete the required number of sequences. For the last sequence, you need to crochet the hem. First, normally crochet the first 4 rounds with the previous stitch pattern. After completing them, please watch me demonstrate the crocheting method for the 5th round. Here, I'll use this sample swatch for the demonstration. Start by making one beginning chain, then crochet one single crochet into the hole underneath. After completing it, make one CH3SL picket. From now on, I'll simply refer to it as a picket stitch. First, crochet 3 chains. Then, pick up the 2 strands of yarn here with your hook. Crochet 1 slip stitch. Like this, 1 picket stitch is completed. Next, pick up the adjacent stitch, and crochet 1 single crochet. Then, pick up the adjacent hole, and crochet 3 single crochets. After that, crochet 1 single crochet into the left stitch. Then crochet 1 more picket stitch. Crochet 3 chains. Next, pick up the 2 strands of yarn here. Crochet a slip stitch. Another picket stitch is done. Continue by crocheting 3 single crochets into the adjacent chain space. After completing that, crochet 1 single crochet and 1 picket stitch into the left stitch. For this round, you'll be crocheting single crochets into chain spaces and stitches. Crochet single crochets and picket stitches into the bobble stitches. Crochet the picket stitch in the dent position, hooking into single crochet in the middle hole. Everyone, refer to the chart to complete this round. After completing the last single crochet, pick up the first single crochet stitch, and join with a slip stitch. Finally, crochet 1 chain to secure. Leave a yarn tail of about 5 centimeters. Cut the yarn. Weave the yarn tail into the fabric following the texture on the wrong side. Hide a few stitches before trimming the yarn. That's it. The body section has now been fully explained. Next, we'll move on to crocheting the sleeves. Let's take a look at the finished product. Crochet in rounds along the reserved armholes area. Use the same stitch pattern as the body section for the sequence. Refer to the chart for the number of sequences. The crocheting method is identical for both the left and right sleeves. Please watch me demonstrate the specific crocheting method. First, we'll start with the left sleeve. First, make a slip knit with the yarn. Find the insertion point. It's on the chain stitch under the arm. Pick up the other 2 strands left from crocheting the body section. Draw the loop through. Adjust it slightly. Make 3 chains to start. Then work the stitch pattern for pattern 1. Here, you're picking up the other 2 strands left from crocheting the body section. Place the starting yarn tail above the crochet hook. Pay attention, everyone. This single crochet stitch is worked into the chain stitch connection. That means this stitch includes 1 single crochet from pattern 1 of the body section and 1 single crochet from pattern 1 of the sleeve section. Continue crocheting downward. Now we've reached the other side's chain stitch connection. This single crochet is also worked into the chain stitch connection here. This stitch also includes 1 single crochet from the body section and 1 single crochet from the sleeve. Continue to complete this round of crocheting. After finishing the last stitch, join with a slip stitch. This way, the first round is completed. The crocheting method for the remaining part of the sleeve is identical to the technique used for the second part of the body. When crocheting the last sequence, make sure to also add the cuff edging. The stitch technique is the same as the one used for the bodice hem edging. Follow the previous demonstration and refer to the chart to complete the remaining part. Next, we will crochet the right sleeve. Start in the same way at the chain stitch position under the arm. Pick up the other 2 strands from the body section and begin crocheting. The stitch on the chain stitch connection also includes 1 single crochet from both the sleeve and the body. The crocheting method that follows is identical to the left sleeve. Refer to the chart for crocheting. Up to this point, the crocheting method for the sleeve has been fully explained. Finally, we will crochet the edging around the neckline. Let's take a look at the finished product. Starting from the beginning chain of the shoulder parts, crochet in rounds for 2 circles. Please watch as I demonstrate the specific crocheting method. Take the yarn and make a slip knot with the tail end. Then, place the back piece of the garment with the right side facing you, and the neckline facing up. Insert the hook into any group of cast on grid near the shoulder on the back piece. Draw the loop through. Adjust slightly. Make one chain as your beginning chain. Note that the beginning chain doesn't count as one stitch. Then, work 2 single crochets in the same space. After completing them, work 2 chains. Next, work 2 double crochets in the adjacent space. Work 2 chains between the double crochets as an interval. After completing them, add 2 more chains. Here, we consider these 2 double crochets and 6 chains as one pattern 5. Then, work 3 single crochets in the next adjacent space. For this round, you will repeat the sequence of pattern 5 and 3 single crochets in cast-on grids. Everyone can follow this pattern rule. Just complete this round. Finally, in the first cast-on grid, work 1 more single crochet. Together with the 2 single crochets here, they make 3. Then, insert your hook into the first single crochet stitch, and join with a slip stitch. In this way, the first round of the neckline edging is completed. Next, we will work the second round. Start with 1 chain as the beginning chain. Next, work 1 single crochet into the first stitch of the previous round, that is, the insertion point of the slip stitch. After completing it, chain 2. Then, in the chain space between the 2 double crochets of the previous round, work 4 double crochets. In the middle, chain 2 as the interval. After finishing, chain 2 more. We can consider these 4 double crochets and 6 chains as one pattern 6. We continue. Work 1 single crochet into the middle single crochet stitch of the 3 single crochets below. This round is pattern 6 and 1 single crochet, repeat in sequence. The single crochet is worked into the middle stitch of the 3 single crochets from the previous round. Follow the pattern to complete this round. After finishing the last stitch, join with a slip stitch. Chain 1 to secure. Leave a yarn tail of about 5 centimeters. Cut the yarn. Hide the yarn tail along the texture to the wrong side of the fabric. This completes the neckline edging. Up to this point, the making method for this ombre onion sweater has been fully explained. If you have any questions during the process, don't hesitate to reach us via our website. Susan's Family, supporting your handwork experience, enjoying the joy of life. Thank you all for watching. See you in the next episode.